Good morning, students. So today we are going to start next portion of our coordination chemistry. So in this we are going to study about the color which is shown by coordination compounds and how the metal carbonyls have bonding among metal and the ligands. Okay. So first of all, let us start with the color in coordination compounds. Now see, previously we discussed that a particular substance which is seen as colorful substance, that substance has the property to absorb a particular wavelength from the white light, and whatever wavelength it absorbs, on the basis of that it also transmits another color which is called complementary color. Okay, so similarly these coordination compounds, they also have the capability to absorb any color, any particular color from the white light, and similarly they show the complementary color. Okay, now see here examples are given, just like if we take this particular compound COCl NH3 whole 5 and whole complex has charge +2. It absorbs the light with wavelength this 535, and the color which it has absorbed is yellow. So the color which it shows, it appears violet. So what do we mean to say? We mean to say that this particular compound will appear as this, okay, because the wavelength which it absorbs is in ultraviolet region and it has value 310 nanometer. Okay, similarly this TiH2O6 whole complex having charge 3 positive, it absorbs color with wavelength 498, and the color of this particular absorbed light is blue green, so the compound will appear like violet. Okay, so this is similar to the chart which we have remembered for color absorbed and complementary colors shown. Okay, now the question arises, why this thing is possible, how it happens. Now see, when we look at the transition coordination complexes, then we are able to find DD transition. What is DD transition? DD transition means that in case of coordination complexes, the d orbital of central metal atom is split up in two sets. One is called T2G and the other is called EG. So there is DD transition, means the electron which is present in T2G orbital, that will jump to EG orbital. Okay, why it will jump? Because it will absorb particular wavelength, that wavelength or energy absorbed, that will excite the electron from T2G level to EG level. Okay, now when this thing occurs, then when it will come back, that will be termed as excited state. Now when it will come back from EG to T2G, then it will liberate energy, and that energy will be in the visible region. Okay, that's why we will be able to see the colorful substance. Okay, now see, in this case here we have taken the complex ion TiH2O6 3 positive. Now in this case, if we see, the oxidation state of titanium is 3 positive. So if we see its electronic configuration, then there is presence of one electron in 3d orbital. Okay, now in this 3d orbital there is presence of one electron. This electron will be present in the T2G level, and EG level will be empty, there will be no electron in that. Okay, so when this particular complex will absorb energy, okay, that energy will be sufficient enough to excite the electron from T2G level to EG level. So when it happens, then the electronic configuration changes from T2G1 EG0 to T2G0 EG1. Okay, so what happened? Electron has gone from lower level to higher level. So this thing is known as DD transition. Okay, now this you can see here. See, this was there, first of all, this was the case, this is T2G, where there is presence of one electron. This is Eg, which is vacant. Now when it has absorbed energy, then what happened? This electron has occupied Eg level, and now T2g has become vacant. So this particular position is called excited state, and this was ground state. Okay, so after absorption there was DD transition and electron was in the higher energy level. Okay, now one more thing which we have to remember is that if there is absence of ligand, then crystal field splitting does not occur. So crystal field splitting occurs when ligands approach the central metal atom, then there is this splitting which takes place in the d orbital of central metal atom. Okay, now see, if we remove water from this complex, see this is the complex. If we remove water, then it will not be a complex anymore. So in that case, that time it will be a colorless compound. Okay, similarly we know copper sulfate appears white, but if it is aqueous, then it is colorful. So this is colorful because H2O acts as ligand. Okay, and it helps in the DD transition. Okay. Okay, now see, with the help of one more example we can understand it, that how many ligands, just like we said earlier that ligands are responsible for showing color. Okay, now if the ligands are less or more, then this will also affect the type of wavelength which will be absorbed by the complex, and similarly the complementary color which will be shown by the complex will be different. Okay, now see, here we are taking this complex nickel hexa aqua nickelate, not nickelate, nickel hexa aqua nickel 2. Okay, so in this particular complex, if we add ethylene diamine or ethane dash 1,2 dash diamine ligand in this in different ratios, then there is formation of different complexes. Just like if we take En and nickel in the ratio 1:1, means both are taken in the same ratio, En is in the same ratio as nickel, then there will be formation of, see they are in the same ratio, then there is formation of NiH2O4 En. Okay, and if we take En in the double amount as compared to nickel, then there will be formation of this complex. Okay, if we take 3 times ethane dash 1,2 dash diamine as compared to nickel, then there will be formation of this type of complex. So it is clear that with the difference in type of ligand or number of ligands, there is difference in the colors shown. In the very first case, when water as ligand was 4 and En was 1, then the color was pale yellow. When there were two ligands, 2 En ligands, 2 H2O ligands, then the color was blue or purple. And when there was only En as a ligand present, and that was 3 in number, then the color was violet. So these different colors can be easily seen over here. Okay, so this is for just nickel when there is no En as ligand. This is when there is one En as ligand. This is when there are 2 En as ligands, and this is the color when there are 3 En groups as ligand. Okay, so from this example you can easily check that with the difference in number of ligands, the color of the complex differs. Okay, now this we have studied earlier also. Here again we are going to see that in gemstones there are different colored gemstones available. So there is presence of certain coordination complex in them also. Okay, now see, if we here we are going to talk about 2 gemstones, one is ruby and other is emerald. Okay, ruby is of this color and emerald is like this. Okay, now which particular complex is present, that we have to see. Now in case of ruby, it is aluminum oxide which contains 0.5 to 1% of chromium. Okay, this chromium ion has electronic configuration d3. There are 3 electrons in its d orbital. Okay, so when we see the structure of ruby, then what we find? We find that some of the Al3 positive ions, they are replaced by Cr3 positive ion. Okay, so chromium 3 species as octahedral chromium 3 complex, they are incorporated into the alumina lattice. Okay, so whatever is the crystal lattice of alumina, in that there is presence of chromium 3 species. Okay, so that particular thing helps in the DD transition. Okay, so DD transition occurs because of the presence of this alumina, means this chromium ion, which is present in the crystal lattice of the alumina. Okay, now if we talk about emerald, then what is there? Emerald is the substance which is of the silicate category. It is beryl. Beryl is a silicate, Be3Al2Si6O18. This is a silicate. So this silicate, in its structure, there is presence of Cr3 positive ions which occupy octahedral sites. Okay, Cr3 positive ion occupies octahedral sites present in the beryl, and because of this, the type of wavelength which it can absorb, that differs, and similarly on the basis of that, the complementary color shown is different. Okay, so because of this, this appears as green. Emerald appears as green because chromium occupies the octahedral sites present in beryl, and because of that, the type of wavelength or color which it will absorb, that is different as compared to in case of ruby. So the color shown is different in case of emerald. So the basic thing which we want to say here is that there is presence of certain such species in which DD transition can occur. So because of that, they show certain color. Okay. Now let us come to next category of coordination complexes. Next category of coordination complexes is metal carbonyls. So what are metal carbonyls? Metal carbonyls contain carbon monoxide as ligand. So how many ligands are attached in metal carbonyl? That number will decide the type of metal carbonyl. Now see, in general we can say MXCOY. Now X and Y, they may be different. Okay, such category of compound is called metal carbonyl. Now carbon monoxide is a neutral ligand. So from this, what we will come to know, that oxidation state of metal will be 0. So what we can say, when we have to define the metal carbonyls, we will say that metal carbonyls contain central metal atom having oxidation state value 0 and carbon monoxide molecules as ligands. Okay, now they have given few examples, just like tetracarbonyl nickel is having tetrahedral shape. This is tetracarbonyl nickel. It is tetrahedral in geometry. Similarly, pentacarbonyl iron. Pentacarbonyl iron, this is having trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Similarly, hexacarbonyl chromium. Hexacarbonyl chromium, it is having octahedral geometry. Okay. Decacarbonyl dimanganese. Decacarbonyl dimanganese. See, this is decacarbonyl dimanganese. So here 2 units are attached. Okay, so Mn bond will be there, and each Mn will be bonded to 5 CO groups. Okay, similarly one more is there where CO acts as bridging ligand. Bridging ligand means a ligand which is bonded to 2 central atoms. Okay, such compound in which there are 2 central atoms, 2 metal atoms, and a ligand which is bonded to both, that is called bridging ligand. So here this one and this one, these are 2 bridging ligands. Okay, so this will be the geometry of this compound octacarbonyl cobalt 0. Okay, dicobalt 0. There are 2 cobalt groups. Okay, so now the question comes, how these carbonyls become stable? Which thing stabilizes these? Okay, so what is the answer to this question? In this type of category of compounds, there is synergic effect. Synergic effect is that if we see the bonding, then there is presence of pi bond also and there is presence of sigma bond also. The presence of one bond stabilizes the presence of other bond, and this thing is known as synergic effect. Formation of one type of bond stabilizes the other type of bond, and this thing is known as synergic effect. Now the question comes, how the sigma and pi bonds form? Okay, now see, when we talk about the central metal atom, then central metal atom has a filled d orbital and a vacant orbital also. Okay, there is presence of filled d orbital also and there is presence of vacant orbital also. Now if we talk about carbon monoxide, then there is presence of a lone pair in a orbital as well as empty anti-bonding molecular orbital is also present. Now see, in molecular orbital theory you have seen that whenever atomic orbitals combine, they form molecular orbitals, and molecular orbitals formed are of two types, bonding molecular orbitals and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So in case of carbon monoxide, there is presence of vacant anti-bonding molecular orbitals and filled orbital is also available. So now what happens? The filled orbital of carbon monoxide, that is ligand, that makes a sigma bond with the empty orbital of the central metal atom, which is coordinate bond, and it is sigma bond. Now the vacant orbital of vacant anti-bonding molecular orbital of carbon monoxide molecule undergoes sidewise overlapping with the filled d orbital of central metal atom. This results in the formation of pi bond. So this pi bond is formed. There is sigma bond also. Formation of one bond strengthens the formation of other bond. This phenomena is called synergic effect. So because of this formation, the molecule becomes stable. Now the question comes that what is the importance of coordination compounds? Now coordination compounds has too much importance. There are so many things where we use coordination compounds. First of all, when we have to determine the hardness of water, then what we do volumetric analysis, which is also known as titration. So we use the compound Na2-EDTA. EDTA is a chelating complex, so chelating ligand. So Na2-EDTA is a complex. This complex is used for estimation of hardness of water. Okay. Similarly, in so many extraction processes, when we have to extract metals from their ores, then we use coordination complexes. Just like we have to separate silver or gold, then what do? We perform such process in which there is formation of a complex, and from that complex we take out the silver or gold metal. Okay. So what we can say, that there is use of coordination chemistry or coordination complexes in the extraction of these metals. Okay. Now see, one more use is there, electroplating. If we have to do electroplating, okay, then also we will be using the complexes of such compounds, such elements. Suppose I have to do gold plating, then I will be using AuCN whole twice negative. This complex will be used for the electroplating purpose. Okay. Now similarly, in black and white photography, the developed film is fixed by washing with hypo solution, which dissolves the undecomposed silver bromide to form a complex ion. So previously black and white photography was intensively used. So in that time there was use of a particular solution which is called hypo solution, And what for it was used? Whatever is undecomposed silver bromide on the photographic film, that used to dissolve in that, and there was formation of complex. Okay. Similarly, in medical field also there is so much use. Okay. Chelate therapy is used in medicinal chemistry. Okay. An example is the treatment of problems caused by the presence of metals in toxic proportions in plants and animal systems. Now see, if there is presence of some toxic material inside a living organism, then there is use of chelate therapy. Okay. So excess of copper and iron are removed by chelating ligands. Now see, D-penicillamine and desferrioxime, these compounds are used by the formation of coordination complexes. ठीक है, तो coordination complex formation is also there. EDTA is used in the treatment of lead poisoning. So if there is lead poisoning and when somebody is to be treated for that, then EDTA is used. Okay. Now if we use the compounds of platinum, then they help in the inhibition of growth of tumors. Okay, so in this way we can see that there is lot of usefulness of coordination compounds in the treatment also. Okay, so whatever we have discussed, with this we are finishing this chapter. You have to solve these home assignments. Okay, thank you.